Hey friends, is your kiddo lying? If so, pull up a chair. Welcome to the conversation. We're going to be diving into why kiddos lie and how best to manage this time in your child's development. All right, friends. So, if you have an older child, likely 5 years or plus, you may have encountered some sneaky sneaks where your child is starting to either manipulate situations or not be completely honest about things that have occurred. And here's the deal, I've had several conversations with friends who have children in the 5 to 8 age range. And a common theme that I hear when speaking to mothers about this, or fathers too, I think it's a human experience, is the fear. It's like, and taking it so personal, like, oh my God, my kid's doing this, there's embarrassment. What did I do wrong? Is my kid going to be a criminal when they grow up? Like, there's this anxiety around our child's ability to demonstrate this type of behavior. So I want to break down why this even occurs and what are the best strategies to put in place when you encounter this to promote healthy development and, of course, to foster connection over disconnection, because ultimately that is what we want to do. So why do kiddos lie? Look, kids lie for many of the same reasons that adults lie. So let's look at this. Kids lie when they're feeling stressed, when they're trying to avoid conflict, when they're trying to avoid consequences, or in some instances when they want attention. So we look at this behavior and we're like, great, our kid's lying. First thing is they did something that isn't in their best interests. They're in the wrong. But what we forget to do when we see this happen is look at where the medicine is for us in it. So is our kid lying because they fear the consequences? Is it a possibility that the consequences that are in place for being dishonest or making a misstep too harsh? Like, you've got to look at it and say, like, am I consistent in my consequences, or will I fly off the rail? Does my child know what to expect if they misstep? Same with conflict and arguments. Is it safe for them to even be honest with us? Are they hedging the bet that they'd rather take the risk of lying and getting away with it than being honest and dealing with an emotionally unintelligent parent who isn't able to hold the truth, to hear the truth, or to show up with love and support as the child brings the truth forward? So again, these are reflection points for us. And then third, if our child's looking for attention, and a lot of times parents will miss this, right? They think the kid's lying for any other reason, but don't consider that maybe this is the best way to get some sort of reaction from their parent. If we're too checked out on our devices, our schedules are too full, we don't prioritize quality time with our children, they will do whatever they need to do to get our attention. And even if that behavior or action doesn't serve them or will have a consequence, like, that's how important that connection and that attention is to children, especially 5+ age. They need us. So we need to look at this and see where our medicine is in terms of why our child might be motivated to be lying. Okay, and the next piece I want to talk about, now that we understand the why, is managing our reflexive thoughts around our kiddos' behaviors. We go to worst case scenarios a lot of time when our kid does something like this. We think, my baby, especially when they're exiting like the cute toddler-ish phase and they're turning into like full-blown children, we think, no, my child is capable of manipulating and lying and being dishonest. No, you know? And then we let ourselves, it's really tempting to entertain worst case scenario. Like, are they going to be a criminal? Are they going to be a sociopath? Oh boy. Oh boy. And it's like, we have to stop. And we have to remember that actually lying, cheating, and stealing are developmentally typical. These are phases that our children go through as they really start to understand boundaries. How firm is this boundary? How firm is this rule? Are my parents consistent in consequences or what is actually a boundary. Like it is in their nature to push, discover, explore what the rules of society are, what the rules within the household are. So please don't go to worst case scenario. More than likely, your child's going to grow up to be a beautiful, functioning human in society. You're doing great. Okay, so next, most importantly, how do we want to consider responding to instances where we've found that our child has lied or been dishonest with us? Again, with the goal being in mind that we want to foster connection over disconnection. And if at any point you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, whether you're watching live or on repeat. I'm doing a cool thing where if you ask a question, you'll more than likely see me post a reel answering your question. So highly encourage participation. Okay, so what do we want to do to foster connection? First of all, I think it's really important that us as parents, we don't skip this step of acknowledging our truths and our feelings around our child lying. Most of us are either feeling disappointed, we're feeling hurt, we're feeling some sort of frustration or anger. And I think it's important, and for those of us who are really committed to becoming emotionally intelligent, to having a conversation about our feelings. Of course, in an age appropriate manner, but listen, a dialogue very much could look like, I feel really disappointed about what happened because it's mom's job to keep you safe, or it's dad's job to keep you safe. And I want you to feel safe telling me the truth. So here's what mommy promises to do, or here's what daddy promises to do. I promise to always work on remaining calm so that I can hear the truth without having, a response that makes you feel unsafe. Because when you tell me the truth, we can work together to find a solution that's going to serve everyone going forward. That's going to be in your best interest going forward. What's going to be in the community's best interest going forward. And I think it's also really important to lead with love. So it's, I love you regardless of the mistakes you may make. And again, when we tell the truth, we can find the best path forward. So that's what we want to lead with. And again, it doesn't mean that our children are going to make an immediate switch in terms of, oh, cool, mom, dad said the thing. They've got to feel it. So we've got to be embodied in it. It's one thing to say it. It's another for our children to read our energy or how we truly react when situations come up. So this is our work. Again, this is our medicine. Here's the other deal. Have the notes here. Okay. So great topic. Thank you. Thank you, Marie. How to pronounce your name. So again, you guys, embodiment is really, really important. And giving grace is also really, really important. When we understand that this isn't personal, it's part of our child's developmental process, then we can walk with a bit more patience and a bit more understanding that this isn't an overnight thing of they messed up once. I tell them that they're good and they're safe. They can tell me the truth. And next time we're not going to have any issues. Probably not. It's probably not going to happen, but our children do hear us. And more importantly, they see us. So we've got some work to do in terms of making sure that we're in alignment with that. And I guess the biggest piece I want to leave you with is you're not alone. I think it's really embarrassing for some parents to talk about this with other parents or in a community forum, like, hey, guess what my kid just did? Like, I got a big old liar on my hands. How about you guys? Like, no, we take it personally. And a lot of times whether you're conscious of it or not, it's like the subconscious dialogue of like, I failed somehow. I let my child down. I thought I was doing so well and now my kid's doing this and it reflects poorly on me. And I really want to open this up to be like, again, it's a phase of development and you are doing really great work. And I actually think there's something you can look at this another way and say, your child could also feel safe enough to lie to you, right? Like there's enough of it. It's not a reaction of like my physical body feels unsafe, so I wouldn't dare tell a lie. It's I'm going to be okay. I might not like the consequences, but I feel safe enough in my home and in my body that I could probably gamble lying to my parents and I'll be all right. So I know it's a twisted way to think about it, but I think for many parents, we've experienced this is sometimes we'll see our worst behavior or the worst sides of behavior in our home. And you may notice that your kid is an angel out in the community and out in public, and they're on their best behavior. And that does have a lot to do with how safe our children feel to be all of them, to express all of their emotions, to test boundaries. So we have given that core level of safety for them to explore and push. Whereas actually out in the community and with strangers, they don't feel like they have that grace or that extension to be all of themselves. So they're most likely to perform or to be on best behavior with people that they feel less safe with. So that's a reframe for you, and take it as a compliment when your child is testing your boundaries that actually, in fact, you're providing that safety and you're providing that love. And we just get to continue to embody this on a deeper level and show up and leading with that. So that way, again, our kiddos can make that shift in their behavior. So I hope this was helpful. Just a quick little live. If you have any questions or comments, drop them below. My little girl does that too. Yeah, we're all in this together. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a beautiful weekend.